On to Chapter 2, where we are going to make our application GeoQuiz more user interactive. We're going to start by, in this video, adding a question class, which will allow us to have a variety of questions instead of just one. And we will put a little bit of code into the main activity so that we can make a list of questions. Then we will put in a next button so that we can scroll through those questions. And we will put in a vector drawable so that it'll make the button look a little bit nicer. Then we're going to wire up our views in a different way than we did in Chapter 1. This time we're going to use view binding, which adds some boilerplate code so that we don't have to type as much, and we have a little bit more safety in checking the files and checking the IDs before we try to run it. And then finally, we are going to edit our logic so that each of the questions, when we answer it, will give its own answers. For instance, if it's true and we hit true, it'll say correct, but if it is true and we hit false, it'll say incorrect. Well, we've already got questions like that. But also, if it is false and we hit true, it'll say incorrect, and vice versa. Okay, so we are now going to add the question class to GeoQuiz. If you have this unexpanded, what you're going to do is you are going to drill down an app and then drill it down in the Java file that is not generated. Drill down one more time into com.bignerdranch, and that's where you'll, if you remember, find that main activity lives. We are going to right-click on com.bignerdranch, and we are going to select New and Kotlin class file. Keep the class selected, and we are going to put question and hit enter, and we get an auto-generated class, which doesn't have too much. It just has our package name and a generic class question with opening and ending curly braces. So we really only have one line of code for this class, and it is done. We are going to put data in front of class, and we are inside of the curly braces going to put start typing string, and select string res, or you could type it out, but if again you type it out, you will have to do the import yourself. @string res, and we're going to put val, then we are going to put let's see, well, what is a question going to have? It's going to have an ID, and it is going to have a value whether it is true or false. So the first thing we want in there is an ID, and we're going to call it text res ID, and it is going to be of type int. And then we will have one more val boolean or val answer of type boolean. Okay, yeah, these the curly braces, they need to be parentheses. This is going to act as our class declaration and our constructor, our one and only constructor, all in one. So there we go. So a couple of points here. Data and @string res, they are both not necessary, but they are both good style for readability. But they also have another advantage. So if I have data in there, it actually will come with some handy methods like toString. And if I have @string res, then it offers up some safety. So we're going to keep those. All right, that one's done, and we are going to now go into main activity. And we can actually, let's see, where are we going to do this? All right. Let's go here and go, caps on, private question bank equals list of, and then we will call our constructor a number of times. Okay, I need a private val question bank. All right, so we're going to call the constructor a bunch of times. So we are going to put capital question, begin parenthesis, and then we are going to go r.string.res. Let's see, r.string.australia text. And I actually don't have Australia text yet. I've got to put that into strings. But let's just say that this is going to be true. That was our first question. It was true. Okay, so we're going to go into strings. And we are going to change question text to Australia text. Let's go back into main activity, and that's good. Okay. Now we're going to add in the rest of the questions. r.string. Let's see, next question is going to be an oceans question. It'll be true. Let's go into strings. Let's make all our questions here now before we go back. So let's copy this. Paste it. You know what, I don't think that in the book this is called Australia text, and I think I changed it once already and it's changed back. So I think this was question Australia. If I'm wrong between videos, I will change it back. Okay, our oceans question is going to be the Pacific Ocean is larger than the Atlantic. We're going to have a total of 6 questions. These are in your book. That probably is easier to follow there. The third question is going to be question Mid-East. The question is the Suez Canal connects the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. Fourth question, a question about Africa. The source of the Nile is in Egypt. Fourth question about America. Actually, Americas, question underscore Americas. The Amazon River is the largest river in America, in the Americas. And our final question is going to be about Asia, so question underscore Asia. Lake Baikal is the largest freshwater lake in the world. I think the book wants to take advantage of showing you that you need an escape character if you put an apostrophe in. So I'm going to change this to Lake Baikal is the world's largest freshwater lake. And so notice that we have an underline in red when we have the apostrophe. So we put in a backslash for the escape character, and it should work. Okay, so those are our 6 questions. Hope I didn't bore you too much putting those in. Let's see, let's go over to the main, and I had changed these two. It's going to be question Australia and question oceans. All right, the next 2 questions. This will be a little bit quicker. Oh, I didn't have the comma in there, so the tabbing didn't work as expected. Let's see, 3rd one was about the Mideast. The 4th question was about Africa. Last 2. The 5th question was about the Americas, and the last one was Asia. Now I don't have to rewrite the questions. Okay. Oh, is that an O? All right. All right, we don't have to retype the questions because they live over in strings. If I navigate away from this, sometimes I'll come back and it'll actually say the question, and I'm a little surprised. But it's just showing you what the question is, even though this purple text is really there. A hint of that is you have this grayed out part here that's telling you this is of type answer. So when you get the color gray, it's like a hint, and you don't need to type over it. Okay, now all these questions are not true. There are 2 that are false. The question about the Mideast is false. The Suez Canal does not connect the Red Sea to the Indian Ocean. It connects the Red Sea to the Mediterranean. And this one surprised me because I thought it was true, so I looked it up. And we are going to learn how to type false. All right, so the source of the Nile is not in Egypt. The Nile actually flows from south to north. Okay, so all right, we got that. And one more thing before we go in this video is we are going to, and I'm a little surprised why that is tabbing over incorrectly. I have a mistake here. What is it? Oh, I must need a end parenthesis. No, I have that. Oh, I'm missing a comma here. I'm missing a comma here. That happened a couple times. What's wrong now? I'm going to highlight this parenthesis, and I'm not getting an end highlight. Let's see. Begin, begin, end, begin, end, begin. Oh, missing a parenthesis here. All right, finally. Okay. So we are going to add in a counter so that we can keep track of which question we're going to have. They're going to have indices 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we are going to make a field private var, not val, because this guy is going to be able to change. Current index is equal to 0. Okay, so we have updated the questions class, or we've made a questions class, beginning to end. That's all we need. We have updated the main activity, which apparently still has an error, which I'll look for in a second. And under strings, we put in all the different questions. So let's find that last error. Okay, so I had a missing comma all along, and I copied and pasted it 3 times. What a bother. That red is tiny for my bifocals, so I apologize for that. Okay, so that is going to be it for this video. We have, let's see. Yep. So we added the question class, and we put the code in the main, and we put the code in strings. that was causing errors so that the values that we put in main could be read. All right, so I'll see you in the next video where we will update our layout, make our next button, and put in a vector drawable.